Let me add myself to the stage. I'm right here. Come on in here. The countdown is ticking on down. I just invited myself into the studio. Now, this is how I would invite you. So come on in here. Let me get into the studio with the paint cam. I'm going to open up my paint. I'm painting the Fleur de Lis. How do you say? Okay. So I am officially. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Come on now. Behave. Let me make sure I mute over here. I don't know if that helps or not. Does that help if I mute it? Okay. All right. Now my paint cam says one thing and the screen is saying another. Okay. I don't know what that's about. I'm in the studio with the paint cam. Let me get my Fleur de Lis painting up here. Let me add a little bit of music. We're ready. What you working on? What you working on? You know, while this is ticking down, so I don't have to do it live, I am going to go ahead and share out my video onto the social medias. Let me make sure we're live on YouTube and all the good things. Okay, so I have to try to keep a tab on the clock because I'll be over here messing around online and I won't see you. So let me make sure we are live on YouTube. Yes, we are. Okay. And I'm just going to share my YouTube link to the social medias. How about that? And then we will put up what we're painting. Now, I hope you got crayons, colored pencils, you know, whatever you have, watercolor. I am going to go to my home page first. All right. I am live. I am live in the studio. Hop in. I'm getting notifications that I am live on the other platforms. And say, hey. Let me click Command V, enter, and there we are. Let me hit next. Okay, so that's posted there. Let me see how much time we have. We're down to our last few seconds. That is wonderful. Let me pop into my group to let them know that I am live. Grab your stuff, grab your stuff, grab your stuff, grab your stuff. I will be sharing what we're doing here in just a moment. All right, so let me, because otherwise it will start right back over. Media assets. And there we go. Hey there, this is Bernaid Flenoy. Welcome to my art studio. I will be painting live in here today. Let me show you quickly what we're working on. We're going to be working on this here. I'm going to share my screen here in just a moment. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing to be creative today? Or is this a self-care Saturday where you just needed to just Netflix and chill, order in a little bit of food, eat some leftovers? What are you doing? I am in my happy place. And you know, I just realized I don't even have my microphone hooked up. We're going to be up in here. Okay. This is what we're painting. I am just double checking to make sure that we are sharing things out to all the places. What are you doing? What are you doing? This is the day after Valentine's Day. Hoping you had a love-filled week. Lovely day yesterday. Okay. Yesterday, the kids were getting their candy grams and everything. Oh, Honey, it was bananas. All right. It was just bananas, and we all survived it. Okay. What did you do this week? What was a win? What is something that maybe you need to inbox me? We pray over it. What did you do? Okay. What are you doing for your self care? All right. I think I shared it. Did I share it in here? Nope. Let me let these people know I'm live. I am live. I am in live. Okay. I don't even have any music. Command V. Join me and say hey. Hey, on replay. All right. So I am making sure we're getting everything out to all the places. And let me post that. We are good. I know I'm already live inside of the painted pose. So we're good there. Okay. Now we're getting ready to get on down to business. Let me make sure we've got our reference image ready and on deck. I have the paint cam ready and on deck. Got my glasses right here. Okay. So now before I show everything, I want to show you all the cool things. I don't know if this is on my site. We're going to have to fix a few things, okay? So that you can purchase some of these cute items. Look at this. Okay? You would be getting this, okay? And a tracer canvas, a download tracer to go with that, depending on whether or not you want your face or whether or not you want, just the general face. And I keep leaning in like the mic is actually plugged in. We're going to take care of that here in a moment. Look at this. I don't know if I have this on the site, but these are some beautiful, elegant designs that you could order for self-care. Now I'm painting here, but you could use your colored pencils and crayons and whatnot. Now I'm going to plug in my mic. Okay, that's always helpful. And then I'm going to get some music ready and I'm going to show you a couple other things. And yeah, we're about to get busy painting. All right. I want to call this art practice again, but we're in here painting for real. But come on and paint along with us or sketch along or just hang out. Okay. You don't have to create anything. When I watch cooking shows, I'm not in there cooking. I just love to watch people create. So come on and join us. All right, we're about to have a major technical difficulty because if that other phone gets going, it reverberates up in here. Let me get back over to where the comments would come in. I am just going to just post the YouTube channel, pop in and say, hey, all right. Let's spell it right, okay? All right, there we go, enter. Now, let me bring in what we did this past week. This is what we did this past week. I did a pop-up, okay? I'm sorry. I didn't notify everybody in time. We will do better, okay? So this was adorable. This is by Susan Turley Heinrich, and she has her own group and everything. But you know what? I need to attach that on my site. This is by Ronita Nance. I painted with her live. Guys, I keep forgetting you're looking at me, and I'm just trying to see. So I painted with her live this past week, and we will be painting again. I enjoyed myself so much. I painted this design with a couple of ladies, a group, a couple weeks ago. This is my Hold My Heart design. I promise you we will do better. We will get these things in the shop. Now this is the design by Ronita Nance. I did that on a couple of canvases. Okay, and then this is the Fleur de Lis that I'm getting ready to paint today. Now let me show you the Hold My Heart again. All right, this was adorable. Okay, if you really want this, because I don't have this on my shop, just let me know. You can get the download and just print that off in watercolor, or use crayons, colored pencils along with that. You know, it works. All right, so let me pull this off here. All right, let me put these other canvases away. And this is the last one I'm going to show you. This one is actually in my shop right now. So this is, I sold a couple of these this past week. I don't know exactly how many, but I think my alarm went off that I maybe sold about maybe five or six designs. And I think at least 3 of these were of this design on my Etsy shop. Okay, this is really fun for ladies' night, self-care, and you know, just it's fun. You know, it's a girly girl painting. So this one is popular. All right, so now we're ready to get on down to the Fleur de Lis. This is my print off, and like I said, once again, you can create using colored pencils, crayons. Now this is Dollar Tree watercolor. You can create using that. Now I throw these inside of my painting kits. I would use the Dollar Tree watercolors, but they break apart so badly. Let me show you. You guys would be upset with me if I sent you the watercolors and then the stuff is falling all out of there. There's nothing wrong with it. You just pop it back in there and go. But this looks like, oh my God, Brene doesn't care. I do. I just need Dollar Tree to fix this issue. If I order a box of 30, I'm going to say half of them, the paint is up out of there. Okay. So I've gone to this particular brand. It's a softer, more gooey recipe. So it doesn't pop out. I think this is more brittle. So that's why it pops out of there. Okay. So enough about all the explaining and explanations and everything. Bob is ready. Okay. Bob is ready to paint. All right. And I'm so grateful. All right. Let me get my glasses over here. I don't think I need those quite yet. It's always good to have a Sharpie marker around to touch up and add things when you're done, when everything is dry. This is a sheet of transfer paper, graphite transfer paper, like carbon paper, that you print this off and you have your own canvas. You make sure your download is in the right place. I would tape that down, then carefully slide this up under. Take a pen or the back of a brush and just go over the lines, and that's how you can transfer your design easily. Now this is an easy design, simple. So this one might take you 3 minutes to do with the transfer paper. And if you want the lines bolder or more, a little bit darker, then you would use a Sharpie. This is an extra fine Sharpie that I like at the end. They do have the thicker one, and it's just off camera. I'm looking at it, but I'm not going to get it. We're going to keep going. I'm going to turn this music down because, honey, I don't know. I feel like I need to talk as fast as the music is going. Let me slow down. Let me relax a little bit. Okay. All right. So I've got my mic there. I'm going to slide you in a little bit closer. All right. So that you can see a little bit better. Let me turn the music down just a bit. And I'm ready. You know, I forgot to check LinkedIn and make sure we were live over there, because I see we're live on the Painted Pose YouTube. Uh-oh, I don't see LinkedIn. Let me double check on that. All right, so I'm turning this down to about 25%. Let me double check on LinkedIn, you guys. Okay. Because I clicked it, but you know, we do have those technical difficulties at the beginning. I always have to check the destinations, and it looked like it was actually fine. Okay. Let's see. Let me check. Let me check my posts here. Oh, we are live over there, y'all. Okay, we are live. That is wonderful. Okay, good. So let me get out of that. Now it's showtime. Hope you have everything that you need. We're about to rock and roll here. I am going to add, let me share my screen. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. And here we go. There we are. All right, so this is a lovely image that we are painting today. Let me get back over here and let me see if I can adjust the screen here. All right, one of these lovely days, I am going to be able, now see, I am messing up what I already perfected before you guys came on here. I already got this in order. I'm so sorry. There we go. I'm looking for the other format here. There we go. We're trying to get to the correct format. So there is one. Oh boy, I wish I could do my paint cam over here, y'all. This is Banana Town. Let's see, is this better? I think this is better. All right. So I'm going to just keep that up for a while, and then we're just going to do the paint cam. All right. So let me get started. My brushes are here. The paint is here. I'm going to open up all my little colors. And I do enjoy the little paint pots. It just keeps everything so nicely contained. Looks like I might need to fill up my white. Everything is together. And this is what you would get in a kit this size. You know, the 8x10. You would get this size. And I'm just going to call this like a starter set of paints. Because I have it on my site that, you know, where you could order paints from Amazon. I'm going to make sure you can get that. Because I am either leaning real heavy to the... let me flip this one back over, because I think going up just a little bit closer to the camera that'll help out. Let me double check my paint cam, because I don't want to assume everything is on there. I think the paint cam is cool, and we're ready. All right. Let me move the mic off just a bit and make sure that you can see this, y'all. This view right here, I don't really care for the size there. I wish I could blow that up. But anyway, we're going to keep moving. All right, we're good. So I've got my brushes together. Speaking of brushes, this is about a 1/2 inch. This is great for the larger areas. This is marked about 1/4 of an inch. And then this is usually deemed as like a number 1 round. So you want to have a variety of brushes. I always have a variety, but these are like the heavy hitters for this size. Okay. I could use a larger round brush. Let's see. This says size what? Does it say the size? I don't know. This is probably about a size 4. All right. So you can get a variety of brushes for a variety of uses, but these are my heavy hitters for this size. So let's go ahead. I think we're going to be brave and we are going to mix us up some purple. All right. I have some just off camera. I should get it, but we're going to be brave. Okay. Let's make sure our reusable palette is good. And I am going to, let me come up here, do a little art math. I'm going to get one. Let me switch this out for just a moment. Let me stop sharing. Okay, give me just a moment. We're being ridiculous. There we go. That way you can see. So we're going to do a little art math. And remember, you want to try to keep your paint to the bottom third, bottom half of your brush. Anytime it starts getting up here, you're doing too much. You need to stop, wipe off that excess paint so you can stay in control. So that's 1, 2, 3 scoops of my magenta. All right. I'm just going to kind of wipe my brush off right in that little area here. You don't want to mix and spread it all around. And then now I'm just going to go in and get 1 scoop of the blue. I'm going to put the blue off to the side and mix in. I'm just going to, because that wasn't a full one. I'm going to get 1 scoop of the blue and then I'm going to blend them together. Okay. So whatever I have in my brush right now, and I'm going to add a little bit more up in here. Okay. So we're making a nice purple. It might not be as rich and as dark and as vibrant as my example, but that's okay. Let's test that out. Okay, let me put the example back up in there. I'm trying to make sure we're going to the right screen. That's too small. Let me find the next one. Is this better? Okay, I think that's a little bit better. So I've got my purple back here and we're ready to rock and roll. And I'm just going to add just a tad bit of water just to loosen the paint up and go around this fleur de lis. I like to paint the background first on most paintings. You don't always have to do that. And I'm flattening out the brush just so I can get more of a flat angle to go around this curve here. All right. So we're in here. Let me double check the camera. Let me make sure we're over here. We're good. And we're going to go. I'm going to add just a little bit more pink over here. And I am painting on this canvas board. It's good and it's bad at the same time. Some people think it looks cheap or it feels cheap because it's canvas wrapped around a piece of cardboard. I don't mind it. When I was in art school, I didn't like them at all. It just didn't have that same bounce back feel like canvas does. Canvas is a little bit more pliable. This is just like painting on a board. Some people like that, you know. So like I said, I want to do all the things, but I know I can't do all the things. I want to offer those things, give people a choice. But right now, if you were to order an art kit, it's just going to come on regular canvas unless you're doing a paint party locally and then you request it, because I'll ask. Because this is very easy to pop into a frame, you know, depending on the purpose. But it's nice also to have the painting on the canvas. So I'm going to be quiet for just a moment because all I'm going to do is go around these little edges right here. And I need to focus. Isn't that terrible? I'm on here doing a tutorial and I'm telling you I'm not about to talk. And I tell my students all the time, when I'm in the studio creating for real and I'm not live or anything, I don't have anything to say to anybody because I am just focused on painting. And I love when I can do that. But I also love teaching. You know, those social media posts. This is This is somebody that loves to be quiet while they're creating. This is also, what is it? This is me loving to be quiet while we're painting. And this is also me, where they'll have somebody really, really talking, you know. So that's me. I love to be quiet and focused, but I also love to teach. So we don't have enough of this stuff on here. So we're going to do something that I would tell you not to do. We're mixing this right on this canvas, okay? Let me get a little bit more magenta. All right, so here we go. I need to get a little bit more water. Need to get a little bit more magenta. Now I may have to stop and squeeze out some more. Let me go ahead and get a nice hunk of that right there. And I'm going to get me a little bit of water on my brush. Not a lot. It's not dripping. I just needed to make sure. And I didn't wet my canvas. That's what I think I'm fighting. I like to give my canvas like a little drink of water to help move this paint around a little bit more. Not a lot. So I just dipped in there a lot. So let me get over here in the paint. Mix this paint in. I want to go around this edge. So my brush is nice and juicy. So it'll curve around here pretty easily. I'm going to mix this stuff up in here again. All right. I think that's a little paint booger. And it happens. You just pick them up, get a little toothpick or a little corner of a dried napkin. You just get that out of there. All right. So we're going right on over here. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm just trying to, I remember Bob Ross would do that X type of move because he's trying to blend. I'm trying to fill in the texture of the canvas. I'm going to get a little bit more water because I think our purple is fine. And sometimes you don't really know until it's dry, but I think our purple is fine. So I'm getting a little bit more water. Like I said, it's something about the canvas board. I think the primer that they use may be a little bit different than what's actually on the stretch canvas. I'm just trying to make sure I'm filling in the edges here along. Okay, let me make sure I have enough paint on my brush because I have water. I just want to make sure we're going along this edge carefully. I need a little bit more water. Let me grab a little bit more of this paint here. Okay. So the background is probably about half of the painting. Sometimes I like to save the background last and react to the subject, but sometimes, like a painting like this, it's just nice to go ahead and warm up using the background. So if you're timid and you're not sure how the paint handles, this is a good exercise to kind of warm up those creative juices and let you know that you can do this. And I'm over here touching this wet part here. So I'm going to go right here in this little corner, right here, and I'm going in here. I probably need to switch up my brush a little bit. Let me do that. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do also, let me make sure this is wet. I'm also going to get a little bit more of this magenta. Come on up over here. Get a little more magenta. And I'm dabbing that off, and I'm going to grab a little bit more of this blue. Let me mix this up and see what this looks like. It's looking pretty good. And so this is a lot of purple right here. I'm just going to kind of go in this area. I'm really like wiping my feet off on a mat right here in this big wide area. So then I still have a nice little pool of paint, and I'm going around this curve. Not very demure-like, but we're going around this curve. All right. So that was good. Let me go around this curve a little bit more, and let me go around this curve a little bit more. And we're going on up in here. Same thing. Did we finish? No, we didn't finish in here. Let's finish. So we're getting close. And like I say, I had this nice little pool. That's another little paint booger. Let me get that out of there. Nice little pool of paint. And yes, I do try to smooth that out a little bit. Sometimes the texture is nice, depending on what you got going on. All right. Let me just zoom in a little bit closer here. Let me get the reference shot, and then let me zoom on back in here close. Okay. So we're still going. So I still have this nice little pool of paint right here. Ooh, let me go around this edge. All right. I'm gonna grab just a little smidge of water because I need it to be nice and juicy as we're going around this curve right here. All right. And sometimes when you're getting very close to little tiny areas, you just barely want that paintbrush to touch, because you just need just a little bit of that paintbrush to touch to push that paint into that tiny little area. Okay, kind of what I'm doing. I'm just mixing this up, making sure that we've got plenty of paint on this brush, and just spreading this out because it was a nice little pool, and I think we're pretty much done. Okay, so I'm going along that edge. I'm going to go along this inside edge, and our background is done. Now, if I already had the purple or the violet mixed up, it would have gone a little bit faster, but I like to teach you how to get it out of the dirt. I'm just adding just a little bit more of this magenta over here in this little nook. And I'm going to bring it out over here just to give that background a little bit of variety of color. You do not have to do this. This is just me being a little extra while this paint is wet. Because when we pop it with that green, it's just something about green and red, or this little bright pink, that's just going to make it pop a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit over here. Probably need to do it here because it's still wet over here. So I'm just going to add it in a couple little areas, just so it's not just that flat purple. And there's nothing wrong with that flat purple. Let me bring this close so you can see that it's not a lot, but we're just adding a little bit. Let me tip this up because I can't see. So my background really is not all that smooth and demure, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Now, if you just have the violet, you could go ahead and do another coat. Okay, you could do another coat. I'm trying to make sure this is on here for everybody. You could do a second coat. I would suggest it if you have the time. Depending on how long your session is, you can come back and do that another time. So I'm cleaning out my brush now. Let me move my, so now I can go right on in here and clean it. So let's see about this one. Let me check on that. Let me make sure this is clean. Now, if you can't clean your brushes out right away, you really want to dip it in that water to make sure that paint stays wet. Now, after a while, let me clean this out so I can get close to you. After a while, because that paint is automatically going to rise up to that metal, no matter what you do, it just rises up there. And then whatever this plastic polymer base is for this to be acrylic paint, like a water resistant, it's going to get up there, and it's eventually going to start spreading those brushes out, all right? Bristles out. So when you get your paintbrush, originally it's going to be, and I'm trying not to touch my paint, it's going to be nice and flat. But after a while, that buildup in there is going to start opening that stuff up, and it's not going to be as flat. It'll be flat a little bit, but it won't be as tight when you first start. It's just going to start to open up. So that's the good thing about taking care of your brushes. uh, keeping that paint away from the base. So I'm just cleaning it out really good, getting rid of that purple because we don't want it to dull down that green. Okay. All right. So now we're good. Okay. Now it's time for that festive green. Did we bring it? Oh, we might have to add. We're going to mix some and then we're going to add some store-bought. Let me reach over here. All right. We're going to add a little bit of this store-bought green. And this is Apple Barrel Matte. And all the colors that I use are matte unless I say it's a gloss. Most of the time I want it to be matte because I want to see what it looks like. This is called Spring Green. Okay, this is a nice bright green that we could add in here. And I'm going to add it over here to my mixing palette. Okay, I've got my paint pots here. The top of the canvas is dry. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit over here. Don't need a lot. If we need more, we'll add more. So I'm going to say I added about a nickel size or a dime size because it'll spread out. And then if we need more, we've got it right here. I hate wasting paint. Now we're going to mix up some green. We've got plenty of yellow up here. We're going to mix up some green and then, yeah. And I actually do have some liquid gold. I'm looking around the studio for it. Did I forget to bring it in here? It's here, but we will simulate a little bit of gold. All right. So same like we did with mixing up the violet, we're going to mix up a secondary color. Red and yellow make orange. And I'll use 3 parts yellow to maybe 1 part red. Depends on how intense, maybe half dot of red. And for yellow and blue, you mix up 3, for green, you mix up the yellow and the blue, 3 parts yellow to maybe half a part of the blue to a whole part, depends on how, intense you want it to be. And then the violet, technically it would be red and blue, but red will kind of give us a dull one. So I discovered that pink or magenta gives us a very nice purple. So 3 parts, like we showed you before, 3 parts to 1 part of the blue, 3 parts magenta to 1 part of the blue. And I also tell my students it's 3 parts light to the 1 part dark. All right. So hopefully that will help you with your mixing. All right. So I'm going to go in here once again. I've cleaned up my brush. I'm going to do 1. Is this plate on here? Is this one here, y'all? Maybe I'll do it over here. 1, 2, 3 parts of the yellow, the lighter color. And then I'm just kind of smushing out some of the paint. I am not cleaning out my brush. You can. I'm just used to doing that. So I'm just smushing the paint out. Do not spread it all out. Then you won't have any paint to paint the actual surface. So now I'm going in, getting 1 part of the blue. Now I didn't get a full complete. Let me dip in it one more time. 1 part blue, 3 parts yellow, 1 part blue, and whatever I have on my brush, because I smushed that blue out, that's right there. And so now I'm going to blend this in here. And look, we didn't even need any of the factory green. Look at that. All right. So there you go. That's how you get that. Now I'm going to smush in a little bit more of this blue. And then look, you did not need any of that factory green. It works out just fine. All right. So let's continue. I like to give those little tips as we're moving along. This one is a quick, fast, easy, fun painting. I'm just going to go on in here and get this all spread out. Now I also have a darker hunter green that will be good for some of the shading. I'm just going right along here. I just want to make sure this is covered. Okay. Want to get a base coat on here real fast. Make sure this is all covered. I'm going to get a little bit of water on my brush. And I'm mixing it in with the paint that's already there. And then now I've got this nice goopy paint that's now ready to go along these curves. I'm trying to fill in all of this here. Now let me angle this over just a little bit. And like I say, I'm just trying to make sure we're getting this into the nooks and the crannies of the canvas. All right, so let's go on in here. I got plenty of this green. I'm going to go ahead and add this coat on down here. And this brush is great for this size because it's still large. We used it for the background, and for this large area right here, this is great to move it along pretty quickly. Like I say, I'm not trying to be cute right now. I'm just trying to get it into all of those crevices, but going along the edges careful, right? But, you know, we're painting, so if it goes over just a little bit, it is not the end of the world. But you do want to try to be careful. So that little nook right there, I'm going to come back. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and get some of the store-bought. Store-bought is actually a little bit more opaque, but I also didn't goop up any water over here. So I'm going to add a little bit of the store-bought into the color that we mixed. Because then we might not need that second coat after all. All right, so we're going right on over here. And I'm just kind of swooping my brush around. Now, I have a lot of people at the paint party. Once you have a brush, they do not want to switch up their brushes. They want to do everything with that one brush, and I understand. But as you get to that small area, you're going to wish that you'd gotten a small brush. See, just like I just went outside the line a little bit there. But you know what? We're going to keep moving because it's not the end of the world. All right. Now I'm just swooping this back over here because I know eventually this is going to start drying. I'm going to use a hair dryer here in a moment. All right. So we're getting on in here. And I will be adding this to the shop soon. I just didn't have all my ducks in a row this morning because I was making sure I could find a couple of the other painting examples. Let's see, this is where I wish I had gotten that smaller brush. Because you don't want to do a whole lot of back and forth. But let me show you right now. I made a mistake, and I'm just taking a little bit of a wet brush, and I'm going along, and I'm painting it with water along that edge. That'll lift that up. You could do that with a Q-tip, but I'm just doing this with this little brush right here. I dip it in there, you know, like you're actually mopping. All right, so let me go over here and clean this up over here. So while I have it, I am actually going to go ahead and use it in these little tiny areas. All right, and that actually will help you move along faster. The right size brush for the job. Instead of me trying to take so long to get in these nooks and crevices with the smaller one, with the smaller angle of that large brush, it's easier to just whoop, grab. I had too much paint on there. So we're moving along quickly, and I'm going to clean that up because you don't want it to sit too long. But while I have this on my brush, I'm going along here quickly. All right, so we've got that first coat on here. Trying to get rid of all of that white. All right. Let me go back in here and touch this up. Where did my little drop go? Well, I don't see it. Maybe it dropped in the right spot. All right, so like I said, getting that smaller brush, and I know that mentality is I am just going to stick with that one brush. I'm not going to, you know, you figure out how that one brush works, and then you don't want to change it. And like I said, I totally understand. So let me clean this out because I got to clean out a little area over here. So I'm going right on over here. I'm going to wet this a little bit more. And I'm just going to kind of lightly scrub it with the tip. And I'm just going to come back up and mop it up. Will it lift up some of the other paint color? It might. It might. It just depends on how long that was left to dry. All right, so we're cleaning this up pretty good. And if we need to, we can add a little bit of violet. So we've got our base covered, all right? And I think we can use a little bit of brown in that area. And I'm looking over here. Brene, do you have your gold over here? Do you have your gold? Let me reach. It's in here somewhere, y'all. Isn't that terrible? I forgot. But we don't have to worry about that part. We can simulate that gold. So let me see. Am I going to reach for a little bit of brown? I can. Are we going to make a little bit of brown? I can. All right. So we're going to make a little bit of brown. I'm going to put a little red there. And this is not a large area, but I'm going to go ahead and get a second scoop just to make sure we have enough to make it light. Oh, and I'm over here in the green. And I don't know if you see that starting to happen a little bit. You see that? That brown started to happen real fast. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to make it a little bit more golden. Let me get a little bit more yellow over here. All right, so let's go. And then we can come back and add the white on top of it. But we're getting the base color down. Let's see. Now, I would still like to put this down and then put a little bit of that shimmery gold on top. All right. So we're getting this, honey. This is coming together real fast. Now, I don't have my glass. I'm trying to figure out, okay, so where is the brown? Because I'm too close to it. All right. So here we go. We're going up in here real fast. And like I say, the right size brush really does help move things along pretty fast. All right, let me show you the reference. I forgot about that. All right, so that's our reference. We're in here working. All right. I wish that I could have that reference super tiny. But this is about as good as we're going to get for that. So this is drying a little bit. I think I'm going to hit it with my hair dryer right here, just so that that will move along quickly. And so that's the base. And now we could add a little bit more. All right. Let me reach down right here. All right, let me see. Should I mute? Because sometimes Facebook will mute it automatically for me. Let me see how I can move this over and mute. So hold on just a second while I hit it with this hair dryer. All right, let me unmute. I'm going to let this cool off a little bit. Anytime you heat up the surface, as soon as you put paint down there, it will dry right away. So you may want to let this just cool just a little bit. So while this is cooling, I am going to mix up a little bit of yellow green over here to start blending in. And I'm going to mix up a little bit of blue green to start blending in. A little bit of yellow green to go near the highlights, a little bit of blue green to go near the low lights in the shadow. Okay, so that's what we're doing up in here. All right, so it shouldn't take too long because it's on canvas board, but the canvas board will hold in the heat more so than the just the thin layer of the fabric. So this is canvas board wrapped around a nice thick piece of cardboard, and yeah, it's still kind of warm here, so I'm just kind of moving it along just a little bit just to get it going. All right, so while that's doing its thing, I'm going to get me a little bit more yellow. I still have some on my brush, and I'm just going to go right on over here. And I'm going to need to get some white here in just a moment. So let me get ready. Oh, also, let me make sure that you're seeing the image. I don't think that's good. Oh, wow, that would be great if it was on my paint cam, but it won't let it go to my paint cam, y'all. I don't understand it. But we're going to keep on moving. So now I have a little bit of that yellow green on my brush, and we're going to kind of keep moving along. All right. So I see that we're very close to the hour, and I do believe we'll be okay. All right. I need a little bit more yellow. Okay. So I'm going to come on up in here. Oh, boy, that's nice. Okay. Let me come up over here. Now I'm pushing some of the paint out of my brush because there's a lot up in there. And that second coat, man, it just makes it, I don't know, so much more professional. Should I say that? Is that what I should say? I don't know. It just makes it, the covering is nicer. All right. So we're going to do a little bit here. Just that little bit of yellow inside of this yellow green just kind of gives it an extra layer of, we're going to say complexity in color, makes it a little bit more mature looking. All right. So let me make sure I've got that nice second coat is really good. I'm pushing this paint out, and then I'm going to catch near the edge. I'm going to get near the edge and curve that around. Okay, but like I say, right now my brush is too big. I'm pushing out whatever paint I have right here, and then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to blend it a little bit more. There's just something nice about that second coat. All right, and you know what, I'm just going to come on over here because I'm about that second coat life. All right. Just makes it nicer. Okay, so it's coming along. We're almost finished, but that second coat, it'll be worth it for you. Okay, so while you're at that paint party and that paint is out there and it looks a little bit chalky or a little brush strokey and you don't want that, go ahead and get that second coat on there. That's what's going to help cover up that white background. So you're seeing some of that white background show through a little bit. May I have a little bit more of that color, please? As long as you got time now. Now don't sit up there and ask and the paint party is over in 2 minutes, then you're ready for that second coat. So now this is really feeling nice and what do you call it? What did I say? Nice and professional. Let me clean this out a little bit because I want to add a little bit of blue green while we're doing our thing. All right, so I'm cleaning it out mainly because that brush started filling up with that paint. It started really getting close to that metal, and then I don't have the control that I need. So now I'm going to go in here and add just a little dab of blue up over here. Make it a little bit of blue green. Just a little bit, because that adds some of that temperature change, and it will help me kind of blend this shadow in here a little bit. All right, not a lot. You don't need a lot, just a little bit right here, because we got a little yellow on that other side. And so now this blue green right up underneath here, this will help it feel more three-dimensional. Because I'm trying to explain why we're doing what we're doing. Okay, so we're going to come right back over here. Got a little bit. We don't need a lot. Just need a little bit here and there. Let me grab just a little bit more blue. And I probably need to get my smaller brush like I was telling you. Okay, so it's starting to come alive. Like our reference shot is just really, it has a little bit more of the magenta, and it's a little bit more blue violet, and this has a little bit more of that yellow green, and then a little bit of blue green. It just adds a little bit more complexity to the design, and it makes it more appealing. So that's what we're doing. That warm and cool play adds that visual excitement. Honey, I love to mess around with the colors at this stage. So now this is coming along pretty good. Okay, I'm not sure what you're seeing here. I am going to flip back to the larger image of me painting over here. Okay, so give me just a second. And I hate that we lose the reference. Okay, did I not hit it? Okay, there we go. So now you are seeing, okay, what's going on. And I don't know if you see the background. The background could use a second coat, but I think when I put my little glitter all over everything, it'll be okay. So now I think we're ready to add a little bit of white, little black, and wrap it on up. Now I probably won't do all the little swirly things in the background because I am not the writer girl. I do not have the good handwriting like my mom. My mom was the writer girl. My sister is the writer girl. She can write and write very beautifully. I am taking my 1/4-inch brush. I'm dipping in a little bit of water because I need to just loosen this up just a little bit. And I probably should have done it with that number 1 round. But now it may be a little bit too much white. We'll see. So we're ready to add a few little touch-ups here. All right, here we go. Boom. Okay, my hand is shaking because I got coffee. Ow! All right, and it doesn't have to be exactly like the reference, but it'll be helpful. Whoop, I went on there and did something wrong over there. Whoop. All right, and then whoop. And then just a little bit down here. Whoop. All right, isn't that fun? Oh my God, it was so much fun. So now I'm going to clean out this brush right here because I'm going to go in here for the one that has the point. All right, let me clean this out. Oh, forgot I had my brown in there. And like I said, I like to keep my water as clean as possible because when I need it to add water to my paint, I really don't want to dull down any of the colors. So, okay, now I am going to go ahead and try to keep that paint near the tip. Now, it's creeping up towards that metal, like I was telling you. And now I don't get like a perfect point because, honey, this is one of my work brushes. I work with this all the time. So we're going to add a few little dots. Boop, 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 boop. Because I have a lot in here, I am going to, you might want to slow up, Bernade, so it's a nice round dot. Let's get some more paint because I have a lot of water. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of this. Boop. All right. And you can do as little or as much as you want. And like I said, the flourishes, that's on you. I want to do another one right over here. All right. I want to make sure that's good and thick right near the light right here. And like I said, my handwriting is atrocious, but if you know how to, do your thing, do your thing. All right. So in the background, I could keep it as decorative or as simple as I'd like. I'm scared I have too much water in here right now. So what I'm going to do, this is another tried or true method. I'm going to flip my brush upside down. And all I'm doing is wetting it. And I'm going to go in this paint, okay? Going in this paint. We're about to do a little bit of violence, okay? And it's going to sound that way too. I'm just going to go dot. All right. I'll get a few more up in here. And that'll give us a more perfect round. I'm going to go back and forth. That'll give us a little bit more perfect round dot. All right. So here we go. I'm going back over it twice, 3 times. I got to make sure I have enough liquid on there. Okay. I want that one to be a little bit bigger. So now mine weren't so elegant, but here we go. All right. So we're going to do the same thing over here. All right. We're just going right on around here, following our template. Okay. I'm just kind of filling that in there. That's, you don't pay extra for that. That's just me just wanting to make noise. Like the kids when they're doing their little dots for their snow or just the dots in general. Okay, I'm going to go in here and swoop up a little bit more. I want this one to be bigger. All right. All right. Going back up over here. And all I'm doing is just dripping more of that paint on there. Trying to keep it a little bit round, but it's kind of flowy. All right. Trying to make it a little more round. Don't want a lot. Right. So it is slowly but surely coming on down. So we're just over an hour on the broadcast, but not the actual painting. So we're still at about 40 minutes painting time. All right. Okay. Now, like I say, I am not the writing girl, but we in here. All right, that delivered a little bit more. This is great if you are very crafty. All right, so we're getting a little bit of this flow together. So now going back over here. And our little paint is drying up over here. All right, so that little math worked out a little bit better. All right, so I'm going to leave this part alone. I'm going to add a little bit of black. We're going to thin down the black like we did the white, so it's a little easier to work with. All right, and I think we're just about done. I want to blow this with a hair dryer, but I don't want to have little, what you call these things? Little puddles of paint to start smearing. We don't need a lot of black. A little bit goes a long way. I'm going to put some out here. Make sure I got a little water. Okay. And I'm just making sure I've got a good mix of paint. And this is all the way up near the metal. Okay, what they say, do as I say do. You know what I'm saying? I really would prefer to do this with a Sharpie marker, but we're going to go on and catch our life here. Okay. And you want this to barely touch the painting so that you can stay in control, as I obviously do not have the control, but that nice dark swoosh just helps pop out everything. Y'all, the coffee comes and gets me, so this is why I make sure to add Sharpies on every table. But some of the ladies, they get a little anxious and they want to get started painting. Started with the Sharpie too soon before they're, what you call the thing? What do you call this thing? Before the painting is dry. Oh, Lord. Oh, let me stop because my hand is not moving according to the painting. Let me clean this up, y'all. All right, let me clean this up over here, honey. All right. Go back over here. Catch some of this here. It's kind of thin and watery. Go down a little bit. Ooh, I went over that green a little bit. I'm trying. Ooh, child. Ooh. And I'm standing up. I'm in the air. Y'all just don't know. But here we are. Hopefully you have a much more steady hand. But I really want that black to pop out on one side. All right. Like I say, you probably can do most of what you want to do with that Sharpie marker. All right. So I might let some of this is dry over here. Some of the white areas are not quite dry, but this is starting to pop out just like you want it to pop out. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you and do it with that Sharpie marker. Okay. Let me put this in the water because I won't clean that completely. All right, so I think this is good. We want this to dry off just a bit. Okay, some of the white is still wet. Okay. Continue. And I'm going to go ahead where I made this big old mistake right here. I'm going to cover this up right there, and then we act like we didn't make it. Because like I said, I'm heavy-handed when it comes to writing. So this elegant stuff that's going around the corner, oh Lord, ooh, child. Now I probably need to do a voiceover and sound really super confident, but hey, this hand, this coffee is shaking right now. So I am definitely going to come back and do that part with my Sharpie. So now this little part right here, I'm going to come in, do a little bit of white here. Oop, just a little bit. Because this is not really thin. Let me make sure I can come to like a little bit of a point because it's a nice little tiny little area here. All right. Boop. All right. So we're just adding a few little highlights and probably need to come on in there with that black. That would really help it out. So I'm going to hit it with that hairdryer again, go in with a little Sharpie, and then we're going to call it a day. Now the background, you can put as many dots or whatever you want back there. I might do a little bit once I go in with the Sharpie. Right. Now, this is what we had at the beginning. This is still a little bit damp over there. Let me get myself anchored here. Otherwise, we're going to have the same situation with an unsteady hand. And this has some texture to it. So we're going to take that black and come on down here. And we're going to just kind of sketch this in. Do I have a thicker Sharpie? Yes. But I like this thin one because I can control. It's like sketching with a pencil. So I can control it a little bit better. Okay. You will see me do this quite a bit. So this is not the exciting part. It's fun to me because it's just, adding the finishing touches. I could have come down here with some paint in this area. Oop, look at me mess. Oop, child. Catch that groove right there. And I'll come back with a little bit of that green paint. Clean that up here in a minute. And I enjoy doing this part right here. Okay, so we're going to come back up here, catch this point right here. I don't know if you've seen that. Catch that point right there near the top. And like I say, you could do this with your brush. If that's something that you feel like you want to do, you can do that. It might be a little bit clunky, and that's okay. That's part of painting, But if you wanted to kind of be a little bit more refined, you can go in there with something that you can control a little bit easier. They do have acrylic paint markers. You can do that. But this is fun and relaxing. Did a little painting, did a little sketching, All right, and that black does just make everything pop out, okay? You don't have to do this, but it does make that finished piece look a little bit more refined, all right? So this is kind of what we're doing. So you can maybe see some of the areas that I haven't covered, see some of the areas that I have. It's just that little hint of detail that helps it, pull it together. So I am going to just do this one line over here. I'm going to do this one line over here. All right. I'm going to come right on around here. Ooh, I don't know if you're hearing all of that grinding noise, but that's the texture of the canvas. Is not a flat piece of paper, so it's a little more challenging. I'm going to add just a little bit more right here because this is in that shadow area, making it appear a little bit more 3D. All right, go up in here a little bit. Child, I am enjoying myself this day. This brings so much joy. It can bring a little bit of anxiety. And I've noticed that with my, I'm going to say my math people. My math people want to be more in control. Okay. And I understand. But the art people are like, let's let it hang out. All right, so I'm digging into this canvas. I'm going to bring this point up here. I'm going to bring this one up here. I'm gonna make sure we got this one nice and bold over here. Just gonna go right back down here, make this just a little bit thicker. All right, so it's kind of coming together. So if you have colored pencils or something like that, you might try it and see. And then of course you can finish it off with a Sharpie. Just finding a couple little points that I'm looking at that just need a little bit of something. All right, I think we're good. Like I said, I need to probably clean up this little area over here where I messed up, but we're not going to say nothing. We're going to say that was our artistic license. We flashed it. We used it. That's our artistic certification over there. Okay. We can say YouTube gave it to us. All right. So I'm okay with this, y'all. Go right up here to this top, make it a little bit more of a point. Come right back over here. Fill that in just a little bit more. Now, see, you done too much, but that's okay. Done too much. All right, we have looked around everything here. We've picked up a few little details here and there. I will pop on the Instagram live and pop on to Fanbase, and I think I'm just going to coat it with a little bit of this. You know, my go-to. This is the Craft acrylic paint by Michaels. Craft Smart, the what is this? The Crystal Glitter acrylic paint. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on there after it dries for a few more minutes. That's going to be that. So I think we're good. I think we're good. Let me pop. Oh, let me include the reference here. Just a little bit. All right. Let me see if I can do them both together. And here we go. Here we go. I didn't add the little cutesy white stuff in the back. Let me make sure this is not bad now. You can get as cutesy as you want in the back. I just opted not to do it. Let me pull back. Try to get the light right. There we go. Let me turn this way. So yeah, that's about it. Hoping you are being creative and having a really good, fun day. And, if anybody made any comments, y'all, it's just whatever, it does whatever it does. Okay, so this is Brene Fleur. I'm going to pop out of here. Going to make sure I get my little YouTube shot together. It's not bad, y'all. And it was fun. So it took about an hour. Okay. Almost an hour. We've been live almost an hour and 20 minutes, but it took me 20 minutes to do my intro and show you all the things and everything. So whatever you're doing today, hopefully you are recharging your battery, refreshing, or refreshing someone else as well. So enjoy your day. I am going to go ahead and, hey, we're gonna rock this one out. Thanks for joining me. Stay on the lookout. If you're not on my email list, get on my email list, thepaintedpost.com. You can join there. I've got a wonderful download folder, thepaintedpost.com/download, that you can go and get some lovely little items to paint along. It's a lot in there right now. I'm going to start thinning that back because I'm going to be offering more paintings and more live paintings. Okay. All right. Now, I'll hop on YouTube in a minute. All right. Because I'm that girl. I like inviting you into my studio and painting, but I want you to paint along. Okay. So I'm going to call those paint alongs. Okay. An art kit, I call that a paint pop. I'll throw the brushes in there. I'll throw the paint in there. That's a quick little art kit. They're on my site for $30. And right now, I think I have like a little bonus that you can get either a bonus pack of brushes. And of course, I'm looking around. I don't have a pack of brushes down here, but it is what it is. So go check me out. I've got some things ready to purchase. You can go to my Etsy shop. We're gonna create. We're gonna create. We're gonna be very demure, very mindful. Okay, we're gonna take care of ourselves. Okay, this year. And creativity, painting helps me get centered and focused. And it's my joy and my love. So I want to invite you in. Watch out for the Canvas Club. I think the wait list is still there. I don't know if it's open yet. It should be opening soon. Okay. Get on the wait list. If you want to have a painting a month and let's paint along together, get in that Canvas Club. Ow. Get in that Canvas Club. It's there. All right. So peace to you. Have an amazing rest of your day. And thanks so much. Thanks so much for joining. Okay. Till the next time, enjoy the rest of your day. Do something that makes your heart sing and come alive. Spread a little art joy.